So the first question I have is how long have you been teaching and what topics and grade level do you teach?
Hold on, I'm continuing to consent. I have been teaching for 15 years. I have been teaching all of those years English language arts, and then occasionally I've had a health and PE class, but the majority of my job has been English and social studies.
Okay, awesome. And how have you adapted to online learning?
I went golfing and held big rallies. Just kidding. Um, that was our president. Did you get the joke? Was it
Yeah.
Um, I I think out of necessity, we have had to adapt in just changing the way that we do things, delivering content and use of technology in a way that's maybe different than we had been using. Some of us, I think, had some kind of, I would say, a little bit of technology integration, but not in any way like what we're being asked to do now. So I would say out of necessity, and with the help of amazing colleagues, the strength is the teachers. Everybody's just kind of working as hard as we possibly can to make this work, you know?
Yeah. And how do you think online learning is affecting students' education?
I think, and you were one of my students, and maybe you would agree with me on this one, but I think as far as teachers at the middle school level, our main job is relationship building. We work really hard to get to know the kids, to establish trust, and to let them know that we care about them and are concerned about them. And then from there, we can teach them. And so maintaining those relationships in this sort of a kind of a format is a little bit more difficult. So I think that that's been kind of a big thing. And then I think also resources. Some kids are doing super well. Those are the kids who have, families who can support them, or have parents who can help them, or have access to technology. It's a socioeconomic thing for a lot of kids, and some kids are doing really poorly. So I think it's just kind of a reflection of some of the similarities of a brick and mortar school. I think some are doing well, and for some it's not working at all.
Hmm. And are there any resources offered to students who don't have those sorts of things that you're talking about, like computers and
For sure. Yeah, our school, we offered laptops for kids who didn't have them. I know the district is doing something with 100 hotspots for kids who are struggling with technology access. We have people delivering packets, paper and pencil stuff. We have mental health people reaching out. We are making phone calls. We are connecting with kids via Meet or just on the phone, whatever they can kind of access. We're just trying to make this work for everybody. We're delivering meals, tons of lunches and food for families. I think there's a lot of resources available for people who maybe don't have the access that they might need to be successful in this.
yeah. And how are you preparing for the possibility of this continuing for the rest of the year?
I think, again, out of necessity, I think we are getting better at it as we progress. I think, we're taking our nod from what Governor Bullock is doing, and every couple of weeks he's giving us updates. And so I think just by continuing to see what's working and what's not working and how the kids are responding, and if they're not, what can we do? I think just by trying to tuck into it and kind of evolve as this whole thing evolves is kind of the best way that we can continue until we find out how final this is and what it kind of looks like.
Yeah. And overall, do you think the school system's response to the virus has been appropriate?
I don't know what appropriate would look like. This is kind of an unprecedented situation that we find ourselves in. But I think that the district has been awesome. I think we're lucky to have a governor who I think has taken the right steps to make sure that we're responding appropriately. And so I think the district has done a great job of trying to offer us access and trying to just kind of bolster, the teachers, because that, again, is what it comes down to. The reason why this is successful is because the people in our district, the colleagues that we work with every day, the teachers are spectacular and working super hard. So I think the district has done an amazing job. Yes.
Absolutely. Well, that's all the questions I have. Thank you so much for being willing to do this interview.